This is a nightmare.
I've had better nightmares.
Hey. So that thing just stopped doing whatever the hell it was doing.
What have we got?
Whatever signal it was sending finally crapped out.
I thought we bypassed the battery.
We did. It's still plugged in. It just stopped.
Reboot it. Send the signal again.
Hey, we don't even know what this is.
Fury did. Just do it, please. You tell me the second you get a signal. I want to know who's on the other end of that thing.
Where's Fury?
So, Skrulls are the bad guys, and you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Captain Marvel is a character in our comics and mythology who's got one foot on Earth, one foot in the cosmic arena. So this story was the right one to introduce the overarching narrative of the Kree-Skrull War.
Background and action. It's inspired by the comics, but at a whole other level.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe has had so many iconic villains.
The Skrulls are super interesting villains to us because they can turn into anyone.
I'll tell you my secret when you told me yours.
Skrulls might be the most famous alien race in the Marvel comics. They're shapeshifters and very important to the mythology.
Skrulls can get inside your little mind. So this makes Skrulls very formidable because of their camouflage ability.
They've evolved in such different ways than the Kree and the humans.
They can be your mother, your father, your brother. They're like the best spies in the world because they can literally be anybody.
Skrulls have invaded yet another border planet. The relentless Skrull expansion dangerously nears our territory.
What's very clever about the storytelling in Captain Marvel is that you're fed the propaganda of one nation and believe that the Skrulls are the bad guys, but you're only seeing it through the Kree's eyes.
As we meet the Kree in this movie, they're technologically driven and very much motivated by this war, which has kind of become pervasive to their entire society.
The Kree are a very dominant and very aggressive race, and their military and their leaders conduct themselves as such.
The Kree are really incredible warriors, hyper-intellectuals, and also totally devoid of emotion.
You lied to me.
I made you the best version of yourself.
And what we learn over the course of the movie is they won the war years ago. And the Skrulls are living as refugees, and the Kree are kind of hounding them mercilessly.
The handful of us that are left will be slaughtered next, unless you help me finish what Marvel started.
She's trying to break out.
This movie is very much about the journey of discovery. Carol learned that she's not who she thought she was. She learns that the war that she was fighting is not what she thought. And the characters who we have in the movie are on that journey too.
This movie is really about heart. And we as an audience go on this amazing emotional journey.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. We have a whole bunch of Avengers Endgame, Marvel Phase 4 stuff to talk about, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's going to be way crazier this summer with Spider-Man Far From Home, and then us getting the official Marvel Phase 4 schedule at Comic-Con. There's going to be a huge Marvel Comic-Con panel this year. We're doing a new round of the Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave an Avengers comment on the video. So big thing people were asking after Avengers Endgame is what is the deal with Captain Marvel rescuing Iron Man When did that happen? Because they don't address that at all. Usually you see a post-credit scene from a previous movie, like the Captain Marvel post-credit scene where she shows up. Usually they have a scene at the beginning of the next movie, which is Avengers Endgame, where they explain what they're going to do next. Okay, great. Iron Man's stuck out there. Why don't you go pick him up and bring him back? So what the timeline is that Captain Marvel shows up at the end of Avengers Endgame answering the page as they're learning about all the people that Thanos snapped. So this is right after the events of the snap in Wakanda. They've come back to the Avengers base. Captain America still has his crazy long beard. The reason why they were able to find Nick Fury's pager is because they were tracking Nick Fury. His car has special technology in it. Remember, all the way back to Winter Soldier, he drives very special James Bond-style cars. They knew about the ashes, so they probably assumed that when they found no Nick Fury nearby all of his technology, his bags, his inorganic stuff, they probably just assumed that he got snapped like everyone else. The pager would have been right there on the ground, so they picked it up, and even though they didn't know what it was, they just jacked it into their power source so they could keep it going because they sensed that Nick Fury was trying to use it to find someone or bring someone back. So they just wanted to find out who that person was. That's why Black Widow has the line, "I want to find out who's on the other end of that pager." In a surprise, she turns around and boom, there's Captain Marvel. When you pick up at the beginning of Avengers Endgame, right after the title sequence on the Benatar with Iron Man and Nebula, the way Iron Man explains it is that it's been a couple weeks since the snap that they've been stuck in outer space. So it's a couple weeks after Captain Marvel shows up at the Avengers base. So you have to assume that during that couple week period, they were just catching Captain Marvel up on the last 20 years of Earth history, what happened with Thanos in the snap, because she would have also seen all the people around her in Kree Skrull space just completely disappear into ash, not understanding what's going on. Eventually, they probably figured out that Iron Man was stuck in outer space, and they knew that the last place they saw him was on Titan, so that's probably why they sent Captain Marvel to go get him, and it probably just took her a while to find him. So it's not like she instantly found him. And the way they explain her ability to fly through space without a helmet in the Captain Marvel movie is that it's when she's fully charged up. And as long as she has a map for where she needs to go, she can also fly through those wormholes that you see all over the place in space. They kind of set those up during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when they go through that giant montage going through all those portals all the way to Ego the Living Planet.
Oh, man. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted.
That's sort of the way they get around the idea of hyperspace in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because faster than light travel is kind of complicated, so they just explain it that there's a bunch of wormholes and they travel really fast. That's how you get from one end of the universe to the other without it taking forever. But it still does take them a while to travel. So it's not like all these things of her showing up at the Avengers base, then showing up at the Benatar happening one right after the other within the span of 5 minutes. You're looking at like a couple weeks worth of travel. The other big clip in this is obviously just explaining the Skrulls within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The way Kevin Feige talks about it is that they just wanted to do something unexpected with the Skrulls during the Captain Marvel movie, like, surprise, this is all about false memories and people being gaslit. So wouldn't it be funny if this evil Marvel race that's been so infamous in Marvel comic book history winds up being good in this movie, and that we meet the evil Skrulls later on where they can do Avengers Secret Invasion? The way he explained it is, obviously this is all happening 20 years ago during the Captain Marvel movie, is that we just haven't met the evil Skrulls yet. And because of what happens with the snaps in Avengers Infinity War, in Avengers Endgame, it's a really easy way to explain how evil Skrull factions within their race and the Super Skrull come about later on. Because obviously they're going to do Captain Marvel sequel. I'll talk about the Marvel Phase 4 schedule in a second. They're probably going to save the introduction of evil Skrulls for the Captain Marvel sequel, which probably won't happen for a couple more years. So we're talking like mid to late Phase 4. After that is when they can finally do an Avengers Secret Invasion movie. They haven't said whether or not Ben Mendelsohn's Talos character is coming back. They didn't explain exactly how Skrulls age within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If they're very long-lived like some of the other space-based races, it would be pretty easy to explain that's how you bring his character back. They haven't said exactly when the Captain Marvel sequel is going to take place in the timeline, but it does sound like it'll just be a little while after the events of the first Captain Marvel movie so that they can pay off her tease at the end of that. Like Ronan says, we're coming back for the woman, the weapon, later. So obviously they'll pay that off in another movie that's set during the past because Ronan is dead in present day. But she also sends Jan Rog off at the end of that movie saying, tell the Supreme Intelligence that I'm coming to end the war and all the lies, so they'll have to pay that off during the sequel too. But no matter her power, it's a very Superman type of problem. No matter how powerful you are, you can't solve everyone's problems. You can't change the nature of people. You can hope to inspire them, and maybe that will change them later on, but it's not like she can completely end that war all by herself. Right now, the Marvel Phase 4 movie schedule that we know about is Spider-Man Far From Home, which they've kind of been back and forth on. Is that a Phase 3 movie? Is that going to be a Phase 4 movie? Right now, they're saying it's tail end Phase 3 because there's so much of an end tag for Iron Man's time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's the Black Widow movie, Eternals, which are both premiering next year, Doctor Strange 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Black Panther 2, the Captain Marvel sequel, like I said, and then an Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, or whatever you want to call it. Most of those movies will be set in present day after the events of Avengers Endgame, so that's 2023. Some of the movies will be set during the past, though. So like the Captain Marvel sequel, the Eternals movie is supposed to be set during the past. The Black Widow movie is also supposed to be set during the past because she's dead in present day, and we're not going to be doing an alternate universe version of her. There was talk recently about Marvel doing an Ultimates team-up during Marvel Phase 4, which is sort of a Captain Marvel-led spin-off version of the Avengers with a couple new characters that do a lot of really big cosmic things. If they don't wind up doing Avengers Phase 5 and introducing the new Avengers roster till Marvel Phase 5, what they'll probably do is turn one of these really big Marvel movies like Black Panther 2 into a Captain America Civil War mini Avengers movie where you put a whole bunch of really big characters in it. That's still wide open to speculation about what those team-ups would be, but they'll still do the Thor Ragnarok crossover buddy-style movies where you have at least one or two Avengers teaming up in a big movie. So regardless of when the next Avengers movie happens, with Avengers actually in the title of the movie, there'll still be a lot of Avengers crossover stuff happening in these movies, and you have all the Avengers spin-off TV series that'll be happening during Marvel Phase 4 year to year that will integrate with what's going on in the movies too. Kevin Feige did reveal that the TV series that they're doing for Disney Plus will push the plot of the Avengers forward within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're wondering when they're actually going to do an Avengers Secret Invasion movie, because a lot of people are already thinking forward to Avengers Secret Wars, which is an even bigger concept where you collapse the multiverse into one single reality, then explode it back out at the end. Secret Wars is so big that they probably wait till after the next 2 or 3 phases before they do something like that, so they would probably do Secret Invasion before they do Secret Wars. So anytime after Avengers 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if they wait till Avengers 6 to do Secret Invasion. Let me know in the comments though, when do you actually want them to start doing Secret Invasion stuff within the Marvel Cinematic Universe? They teased it a little bit during Captain Marvel, but the big twist was they weren't evil trying to infiltrate Earth, they were just trying to hide out. And for those of you that are still confused about how Mar-Vell got the Tesseract, she actually got it from Howard Stark when they started Project Pegasus. Howard Stark began that program at the Secret Avengers facility that they blew up at the beginning of the first Avengers film. He's the one that brought Mar-Vell onto the project because Mar-Vell showed up pretending to be a really smart person when really she was a Kree searching for the Tesseract. So Howard Stark effectively gave her the Tesseract until she turned into a good character and realized how the Kree were going to be evil and she was trying to help the Skrulls out. So that's why she was in possession of that during the Captain Marvel movie. Once Goose the Cat puked it up at the end of Captain Marvel in that last post-credits tag, Nick Fury just took that back to the Project Pegasus facility where they continued to study it. There'll be a whole bunch more Marvel stuff posting this week. I have a bunch more Avengers videos that I'm working on. Leave your requests in the comments below. Congratulations, Iron Chimp. You're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Click here for the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, and click here to rewatch that Iron Man Spider-Man Avengers Endgame deleted scene a billion more times. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.